to this group stage so far. Our 3 panel members, Jack, Winter and Kyle, are all back with us to break things down and look ahead to game number 3. Kyle, is there anyone better right now in the world than Virtus.pro?
Oh, I thought you were saying than me.
Well, apart from you, but that was what we were talking panel members. I wasn't talking panel members. I was talking teams.
No, there isn't. They're the best.
Yeah.
Although,
Secret could make a strong argument.
Yeah, Secret's just been off form. The thing is, Secret. This is that part of the year where everyone is a bit burnt out. There's been a lot of events. A lot of people have been sick recently. A ton of traveling, and Secret. I think you could see the last 2 events they played. Yeah, they were just off. I think this event they've really shown like why they're thought of as a team that can win lands, and I'd see them in VP as like the top for sure. But I mean, you can't really make an argument when VP's won the last 2 majors. The last one against VGJ.Thunder in the finals, they 3-0'd them.
They did indeed, and also beat VG Gaming in the previous one. Winter, VGJ.Thunder have been doing much better since the turn of the year. It seems since the start. I think Galaxy Bat was probably the first time they kind of showed us that they've got some power in this team. Everyone wrote that off a little bit and said, well, it was subpar tournament. No one really turned up. It was only really EG they had to beat. EG hadn't won a tournament, therefore it didn't really count. They've come back and proved that people were wrong about them. They shouldn't have written them off because they have reached 2 grand finals.
Yep, and after that they made a roster swap. They brought in DDC, solidified the team more. And Sylar has been playing amazing. Like he has a different kind of hero pool. Like he plays a lot of Lycans, those more pushing carries. Like we've had this discussion where Chinese teams they've been always sticking to very, very staple like general heroes. They are not willing to try other heroes. I mean, they are still not a team that plays Brood or Chen, but still they have more heroes in their arsenal compared to the other teams, the other Chinese teams.
Why is that, Jack?
Well, one of the things is, if you want to talk about people who are not kind of just safe players, I mean, Sylar is the guy who will just get a rapier on the. He kind of like theorized this whole thing like, hey, carries just don't deal enough damage in time. I'm just gonna get that rapier, even if the situation isn't a desperate one. So he's gonna be able to do that. Freeze has played kind of like very different roles over the past year. Like he had these more of like spellcaster kind of space making heroes. Then they started putting him in the bigger carries recently. Like if they played like a Medusa or something, like they would let him farm and just come in later while Sylar controlled the tempo. Also for Yang, I mean he went from playing like more of initiator types to these frontline team fight heroes. So there's been a lot of variation there. And then Fade. One of the rising young stars, I would say, in the Chinese scene. The Tusk, if it's available, they'll first pick that from also a good Earth Spirit player. So a lot of tempo from this guy.
Our first 2 picks are the least winning picks so far at this event. Tusk with a 16% win rate, and it's actually even lower than that now for Gyrocopter, who lost the last
by
game.
The most winning team.
By the most winning team. I mean,
they did leave Lycan in the pool, and I think VGJ takes Tusk Lycan almost whenever available. Yeah, exactly.
He's usually banned against Sylar.
Yeah, I'm surprised they left it, but I imagine VP is letting that through on purpose. They chose to
test it out now?
Huh?
Test it out now in the group stage, just in case they come up against them later on?
I mean, Razor DP Omni bans are all like heroes VGJ.Thunder plays. They exclusively like. It's very strange. Again, this goes back to this whole idea of like Chinese predictability. If you showed me this opener, I would say, okay, VGJ is going to Tusk Lycan. Like they will. That's what they're going to do. They've done it like countless times. They're going to do it again.
You can say the same for VP though. VP does like very similar stuff.
But there's a difference between similar and the same. I feel. I agree with you. But the other difference is that VP is winning lands, and they just 3-0'd VGJ.Thunder, who are playing very similar heroes to what we've just seen picked in front of us.
So not adjusting after you lose, that's the bigger issue there.
I like Winter's point, though, because VP, if you want to say like pick variability, VP and Secret have also been pretty different on that. Like I don't think VP, they usually have pretty consistent balance in their lineups as well.
Yeah.
But if you look at the bans again, like Roger caused such problems for Thunder in Bucharest. Like these are essentially like the Roger roster that's being banned over here on the right. So obviously the Chen and Enchantress just like ruined their games if it exists there. Even Faith almost beat them with it at that same tournament. So they're not going to let that happen from Virtus.pro.
Yep. VP's Chen's very strong. So definitely one of their best compositions, I think. It's just because you can pick it so early and it's so varied in the way you can utilize it. Although after the change slash nerf to Chen at 7.12, where you can't actually just secure the offlane anymore, you can't do these weird things where they were just like, oh, hey, Ramses on Gyro's just going to go top by himself for a couple minutes, then I'll run over with the Satyr. I like the Disruptor against Tusk matchup just because you prevent defensive snowballs, and that's like a big thing VGJ.Thunder uses to win a lot of games, is this blink snowball save. It's not really possible if you just drop a static storm on the target you're going for. tiny. Wouldn't have seen that one coming from VP.
And they're kind of taking some of Thunder's other possibilities too, right? Like the gyro at that time was like a really hot hero that'd be taken early on. And we saw Thunder begin to use Luna a lot during that tournament. And then they were first picking Disruptor basically when available at all for DDC as well. So
Yeah, it's a standard, like obvious. It's like
5 seconds
VP will always pick tiny if it's in the pool. And they have 3 people that can play it all quite well. And it just fits their style. Tempo, really easy item timings. Wish Doctor. Wow. Like I swear, man, it's like it's the same. It's the same.
Yeah, it is the like there's no denying that they are a very predictable team. But ROTK is always like we say this time and time again, very hard-headed captain or coach.
Okay, so
Well, if we go
Roger's
by
going to
that-
have the Shaker, something he's played here already.
if we go by that formula, then this is a Brewmaster or Underlord, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
usually what they
It's
go.
I mean,
for.
I
It'll
mean, let's
be-
be honest. Following Kyle's pattern, if they hadn't banned the Razor and the Omni, those would be the next 2, wouldn't they?
10 seconds remaining.
It's possible. I think I am with Jack, though. I think it'll be an Underlord. I like the
5
Shaker
seconds
pick.
remaining.
I don't know if I've seen VP use this too much, but it's
Yeah, they
secret.
Been used here yesterday.
recently.
Yeah.
Recently
Really?
they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. I wasn't watching I was doing all Group A stuff, so I just honestly didn't. I don't have a computer, so it's
You
hard
mean
to
you
review
haven't
the
got back
replays.
to the hotel and watched the other 8 games
Oh, I
as well?
fell asleep immediately after
Kyle.
dinner. I think it was like 10 o'clock. But I like Shaker a lot against Tusk. This was first used in this meta back at ESL Genting when Secret, I believe, were playing VP, gave them Tusk first pick, and then took Shaker Skywrath in response twice in a row and won those games. And the Shaker versus Tusk, I mean, it makes sense, right? Where you can also secure the off lane for your offlaner, and you can follow up on like snowballs with a Fisher, dunk on top, etc. And it's just really good synergy with the Disruptor and the Gyro as well. And it's an excellent counter pick to both the Lycan and the Witch Doctor because you can cancel the ward on Witch Doctor, and you also obviously just CC Lycan forever. So
Yeah, or you can create terrain that he can't necessarily get past to get to your back line.
yep, exactly. It's a big choice now for VGJ.Thunder. Do they take the Underlord, or do they
Or
take
take-
Brewmaster?
Or do
Oh,
they
the
take the
Bat Rider.
Pangolier?
Oh, Bat Rider.
Barrett
you know,
is the other one.
That's probably the
Yeah.
one they would pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
Yang's
say.
Bat is probably the most picked he's had other than Omni.
But I'm just a huge believer in Underlord. I think it's like the gyrocopter counter. I also think it's quite good against Disruptor. It's the same as we saw with these like Viper DPs. It's this hero that if it gets ahead, it's gonna crush. If it gets completely shut down, it's gonna be trouble.
What were we saying about not picking
Whoa.
different stuff?
So this is a mid hero. Freeze is gonna take it most likely, and they have Tusk and Lashrock. So whoever you put mid is gonna. You want to have someone that can actually not die as much, like
10 seconds
run away from
remaining.
the snowball. Like generally, what would people do? Like
5
Queen of Pain,
seconds remaining.
lanes that you don't want a lane that can be easily exploited by the Tusk Slash.
I really like the versatility. I'm so happy they picked something that wasn't expected. I think the huge benefit of being second or first pick rather is that if you can give away little in your first 3, which in this case they don't because the Lycan really can lane anywhere when there's a Tusk in the pool, and if you can just save these 2 cores to be played in any lane, it gives you such a huge opening in your draft because you see 4 out of 5 from the enemy. And I think you have to do that to succeed in this meta if you want to draft like at a top level. And I love Lash. It's the hero anytime somebody has like that huge poster, like favorite heroes, please sign yours.
that the one you sign?
Leshrac every
Oh,
time.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, the second pick, you get that last counter pick or the last pick of the draft, but as a result, you get to show a little bit more. And like your formation, I want to say, but your composition is basically determined by the time you reach that point. So it gives your opponents a lot of info.
10 seconds remaining.
I could see. I think VP
5 seconds
could consider
remaining.
last picking a TA, which seems kind of weird against Lycan Lash. You can have a lot of stuff
Isn't
to
that
take
bad
off a
against
faction.
Slash in the lane?
It is, but it isn't. It's if you get a little bit of help, I think you actually just crush a Leshrac because he doesn't hit hard enough on Lesh, and you don't really. Everyone's going lightning nowadays, and your refraction just doesn't care.
But you
know?
just need to go diabolic against TA if
Yeah.
you want to win the lane.
I agree, but I just haven't seen it from people.
Dire
But
team pick.
you are correct. I just think TA is super underpicked right now. At level 15, your traps
The
just one
traps
shot
is
creep waves.
actually
It's so good.
so dumb. It's
Yeah.
so strong.
I I think any game it's not like a terrible TA game, you can pick TA. I think it's one of the strongest last pick heroes at the moment.
Yeah, but being able to just cut those creep waves with no risk, I mean, that's like a useful skill anywhere, right? But it's like, it's so easy to just be able to spam that. And then again, with no wave pressure, you can't make plays. Sometimes you can't leave your base even if you've won a fight, unless you have like a gem or a bunch of sentries to deward them. It's quite annoying.
I think VP could utilize a vision hero. Man, I really like TA. Really. They could OD, but I just don't think that fits their style too well anymore. It's a pretty good SF game. I could see SF being a choice. They can also just put no one on the Tiny or the Gyro and pick an offlaner. They have a lot of options, and that's why I like VP so much.
I feel like they might morph here as well.
I could see it.
So we think this is a mid Gyro?
I think it's carry gyro. I like carry gyro more in this situation.
I think so too. I think you can abuse a Lesh really hard if you pick a counter pick to it. This is also a pretty good puck game. You could see that being a possibility.
How about Pugna? Pugna is good against Lash, but is he good for the game?
I'm not a huge fan, just because I feel like you don't have the save for Pugna. I like Pugna a lot more when he has more to play around. Whereas in this game, if they just run at him,
he just dies.
Like and
What if
and a natural Necrobook's one of the few things that purges nowadays, and he will always purge the decrep. And in this game, like he's just gonna die with BKB Necro 3.
So what if they use the gyro of mid, which is what they do predominantly with no one, and
It's
then
hard to
they
predict.
use a troll for Ramses?
I'm not a huge fan of Troll and Tide or Lesh, really. It's good against the Lycan.
Yep.
but-
Tide is really good against Troll.
That's what the strength of VP, though, right? Like, this could be anything.
Monkey King.
There you go.
That's the lane. That's the lane counter. to Tide.
Okay then.
That's the lane counter to Tide, and it's also
It's a great
quite
pick
good.
here.
Quite good against Lycan because you can stand and man fight him.
I mean, it's 4 melee heroes, right? Or
Yeah.
3 melee heroes. It's always going to be good.
So it is a gyro no one, and a Monkey King mid. I like it, production. Just leave it there. It's fine.
Whoa. I
Just leave it there. Regardless of what he says, leave it there. Contractually, he's obliged to go for his own team.
nice one. Just because you did that, sure, I'll keep it there.
All right, well done, Jack.
I mean, I kind of went with like the drafts mostly, but it's always been wrong, so I'm just gonna go for the better team, VP.
Yeah. It's
Okay, a
VP.
new strategy from Winter to stop him from going 124.
There is hope. I feel a lot better about my pick now.
I was going to say, I almost want to take back Jack now, but I think VP's draft is better. The Monkey King is perfect. It fills the needs in their draft, and it just crushes the lane and the enemy carry. Shut down Sylar, win the game. VP's also the best team in Dota, so VP all the way.
All right, okay. 2 for Virtus.pro and 1 reluctantly for his own team because he has to. So let's head over to our commentary team for game number 3. This one should be a good ride.
They're too slow. They don't play fast enough. They don't take risks. They're predictable. All of the different criticism levied against VGJ.Thunder, but they've already surprised us. They go for a 4th pick up of Leshrac, changing their style a little bit.
I thought you were going to refer to our panel.
That too.
Yeah. So if Jack picks VGJ, Thunder, we should make that distinction.
Yes.
Because calling them Storm is an insult. What's up, Jack? He's not too
He
pleased
just
with
flip
that.
you off.
Yeah.
Man, everyone's giving Jack shit today. I
Yeah.
love it.
If Jack looks the right way, it
You know,
almost
Jack,
looks
it's
like
all
his
your
team
fault,
is
by the way,
Oh,
for
they're gonna run
starting
it?
this.
solo. They just caught him. That's
Yeah.
going to be first blood.
All right, well. Good job, Jack. Your team's already 51% victory.
Nice. Good pickoff. They needed something like that. And I know a lot of people might write VGJ off, but this is a talented team. They're even going to get the dupe. They watched the guide. Sansheng.
Thank you, Sansheng. This one's for you, buddy.
I'm clicking the Aegis right now just for that guy. Let's go.
His name's on there somewhere, right?
It is.
Yeah. I actually did not know that. I've never clicked on the Aegis before. I thought it was just going to show the current champions. I didn't know it actually went back and showed
His
the previous.
name is on the Aegis.
Well played. Well
The
played.
warding guide pays off almost immediately.
All right, well, you're going to need a whole lot more than just a warding guy to be able to take down VP. As we've seen so far, they are currently undefeated, and their groups 4-0. VGJ.Thunder, not the same record, that's for sure. They've had a little bit more struggles. They're 2-2. And versus VP, they've struggled, especially as they went to the finals recently at the Bucharest Major and got whomped in a 3-0 victory by VP. So this is going to be an opportunity for revenge here, VGJ.Thunder.
Yeah, and the Earthshaker by Roger. We saw this yesterday against Mineski.
Yeah, the in-your-face rotations that somehow work.
I watched the replay. That was insane. Like, what was happening in that game? It's like Roger just sits there, DP runs in, dies to a stun. Do you know how the second death happened? It was crazy. It's like Roger, they pop the glyph, and the Death Prophet goes for the range creep and can't kill it.
Oh.
And just gets out of position as a result. But
smart. Roger.
Oh, nice.
He'll get the block, doesn't hit the actual stun. Siler can always summon some wolves, though, to protect him against the Rocket Barrage.
Oh,
so.
that's so smart.
Yeah.
Most people just go passive.
Oh, hey. That's not supposed to happen. Okay. Well, Ramses just died. VGJ.Thunder now currently 2-0. Yang and Freeze somehow in the same lane, and Yang had the idea that he was going to go for the kill on Solo. Freeze didn't follow that one up until now. Solo, though, jukes on by. Yang has another gush up in a second, though, and they have managed to slow down Solo a little bit more. Freeze, he'll be able to help out, get another lightning proc in. Yang's just going to keep on running at Solo, but Solo, they're now out of mana. They've blown, like, 500 mana combined for VGJ.Thunder to push Solo out of lane.
Yeah, this Monkey King.
Unless, Fade, please tell me you hit these ice shards. Jeez, that was actually very close. But Solo, he gets the spiteful deny on the bounty rune on his way to death.
Yeah, they're going to swap the lanes again. Freeze going to be against this Tiny, who is level 3. Having an okay time here is DDC. Just going to harass up. Nope.
So you actually almost predicted this last pick. You said
I thought it was going to be an Ursa.
The Ursa or Lifestealer. And let's be real, Monkey King is some sort of weird hybrid between the two of them.
Yeah. Oftentimes not really picked because the other two do things a little bit better. And Roger taking a lot of damage here.
Nice snowball timing there. Doesn't actually pick up Siler, but still will get the kill. 4-0 now to VGJ.Thunder. Their choice of lanes seems to be working out really well for them.
Yeah, they're being very flexible about moving their lanes around constantly, making things difficult, but up at top, Ramses.
Yang allows the Jingu Mastery to go off from Ramses. Now going to be caught inside the kinetic field. Thought he was just going to be able to run away, but
he is indeed.
He absolutely is going to be able to do just that.
Yeah, and he's going to pop the salve. He's level 3. They're in a decent position as DDC has the Maledict.
Oh my
now
goodness, they're actually going to go for the kill on Ramses, and look at how much damage he took. The gush, that minus armor. How much armor does Monkey King have? He starts off with 1 armor. That would be why. Wow.
That is such a good decision by Yang. Instead of going for just a blind build, you grab the Kraken Shell. No, he goes to the gush. It has now netted him 2 kills on this Monkey King. Ramses not off to the best of starts, and 5-0 lead for Thunder. It's already 1,000 gold up for them. They are playing very quick around the map. They're matching the pace right now. They're being very open with the lanes. This is the kind of start you need.
To be clear, this is supposed to go the other way around, right? The Monkey King is supposed to be a counter to the Tidehunter, similar to the way Lifestealer and Ursa function, just because he's so strong against other melee heroes.
Yeah, and that's why I suggested the Lifestealer or the Ursa, because they're more fluid than these heroes are.
Pasha tossing Freeze into the neutrals to ensure he will get both of these bounty runs.
Yeah, Pasha, surprisingly enough, not deciding to go for the early bottle that we see in a lot of the side laners.
Okay, Roger, that really could have been a little bit better block, and they needed every bit of block they could have gotten, actually, because, well, he was able to walk away from that. Walked around the Fissure, away to safety, toss in, Siler. Going to be tossed onto no one with the battery assault. Does have the Wolves coming in, but the homing missile is here as well, and that will ensure the first kill for VP in this laning phase. Costed them a rotation from Pasha from bottom lane into mid, but they finally got it.
Yeah, this Tiny level 4, trying to make the rotations. Probably gonna
Monkey King in trouble again. This paralyzing cast tearing him apart. He does manage to get off the Jingu Mastery and gets a lot of life steal, but the final shot from the Witch Doctor is enough to claim his life. Oh boy, VGJ.Thunder. They are, and aren't the lanes set up? Aren't they supposed to go well for VP's lineup?
No, I really like what VGJ is doing. Like, what they're trying to do to offset that is they're keeping DDC up here at all times on top of this Monkey King. So even if it's a Tidehunter combo, they have almost always a kill combination, and they're abusing that fact right now. Is Yang probably going to go back or at the very least shrine with DDC, and that's partially what makes DDC so valuable. Is he's always where he's supposed to be. And this is a dangerous team. Don't count them out. Yes, they got 3-0'd, but they were still in that finals.
Yep.
And they were in the finals of the previous minor, too. This is not a bad team at all.
Oh,
Pasha.
snagged by that Ice Shards. Fade. Hoping that they'll catch Pasha here. They do manage to get the stun out. Pasha tossing back onto Freeze.
Gonna give
Does
up on
manage
that
to
one.
defend himself, but still pretty costly. Come in. Ramses just can't get away from DDC. He has a 2-0-2 build, so this level of Maledict is really going to threaten Ramses' life, and he's dead. As is the top lane, it seems, where Yang is going to fall.
No one went for that rotation, trying to deny himself in DDC. This man, I've been singing his virtues. He is a killer 5-position player. He is not one of those guys that just sits around, plays very passively. He looks for those kills. Very underrated, 3-0-2. If Nahaz were here, I would ask him what this guy's average KDA is, because it is definitely not the norm for a 5-position player.
Oh, he's listening. Alan is, I believe, spending his whole week watching DAC. It's a good stats, man. So,
passion for the game. Love it.
now he's bottom lane. Let's see if that's where he's supposed to be.
Ramses has rotated mid. He hates life right now.
Yeah,
this is not the game that he wants to play.
I mean, you can't afford Monkey King to have a bad laning phase, right?
No, because the comeback mechanic is rough on this hero. At least with Lifestealer, you get an item progression that's very easy for you to come back with the Radiant, Solar Crest, stuff like that, which is why I thought they would pick him in this game. But for the Monkey King in this game, what do you get that really changes your luck?
Pasha found. Oh, jeez. I'm not sure if he would have killed him, but it would have been kind of close. So the avalanche and toss damage plus a couple of tree hits.
Witch Doctor's got. He has raindrops, magic wand charges, and a fairy fire.
Wow.
You see DDC, he cops the hit. Freeze even pops a salve to try to keep their catapult alive. Yeah, VGJ is playing really intelligently right now.
Solo is going to be able to catch DDC, though, inside the kinetic field. Pasha is here. He's going to go for the kill onto Freeze first, but actually got hit by the stun, so he couldn't really go for the combination. And as a result, they'll only get the kill on DDC and a deny on the tower.
Nice rotation, and it's no one that's trying to make things happen around the map. Makes the rotation top, gets a kill. The bottom rotation is going to net them one at the same time. They need stuff like this to happen, and it is going to cost them a little bit of farm, but that's okay because he's doing just fine in that department as Ramses once again getting harassed up a little bit. And even though you have this lead against VP, because it is VP, it feels very tenuous. Like, it doesn't feel like it's a strong lead.
Yeah. And right now it's less than 1,000 gold bottom lane. Siler's going to go for the kill onto the gyrocopter. And he has a Helmet Dominator creep to be able to help him out as well. The Wolves chasing him down, does have the Maledict. DDC is going to be caught inside the kinetic field. Pasha missing another stun. He can't afford these. Fortunately, he won't be punished here.
Man, that could have been a kill on a DDC. After he misses the stun, he just walks away as though nothing happened. And Roger going to try to get some farm here in this mid lane. Almost has his Blink Dagger. But Fade was trying to see if he could find any stragglers. Cutting across pretty deep right now, looking for any opportunity as
nice block.
Gonna get fissured off.
Snowball to the other side of the fissure though for Fade.
And that's gonna be a 2,000 gold lead now for VGJ as they are punishing VP right now for their arrogance in picking this Monkey King. Saying, how dare you? Still a good team.
We were actually talking about them in the first two series. Oh, Snowball lead onto Roger, and he's got a great Ice Shard positioning too if he wants some blocks. Roger into this corner here. Now Freeze going to try and clean up this kill, but the Monkey King is here to be able to intercept. Roger will still end up dead, but now Freeze is going to be caught, but the Ravage is going to be able to blow up the Monkey King with the help of the Gyrocopter coming in from the side. Freeze, he's also going to die, so it ended up being a 2-for-2 trade out. Maybe Yang.
They've got Glimpse.
As long as they get vision of him, they're going to be able to get the glimpse. And now Yang, surrounded by a tiny and a gyrocopter, kinetic fielded in. He will eventually die.
It'll take a
for the
little.
neutrals, but
no one on a dominating spree.
Well, that was a lot of space for Styler, at least.
Yeah, Styler is taking good use of this time right now. Tread Tum of Dom, not underfarmed in the least. Freeze in a similar position. All 3 cores, in fact, of VGJ.Thunder sandwiched in that gold lead, just eclipsed by this gyrocopter. And they draw the line around. Monkey King says, don't go there. You know that Styler's at bottom. He's anticipating the other heroes to be behind him, and he would be correct as Fade. Waiting in the jungle, trying to find an opportunity. And the rest of the cores right now are going to show all 3 separated on the map.
They're going to run into both these heroes. They're going to run into Fade first. Managed to get the homing missile on him, Styler. He is popping the shapeshift, I believe, just to get out and trying to use his neutrals to actually get a kill on one of the supports. Nice stun, Fisher, and the Echo Slam. Managed to land on a DDC with a toss in the air. Uh-oh, now the Gyrocopter's in an awkward spot, but Freeze misses the stun. He's getting out all of his damage and Freeze. He might be able to finish up no one, but it'll cost him his life. Pasha now has to deal with a shapeshift up to Styler, but shapeshift has now failed, so he's got to try to outrun this one. Avalanche will stun up most of these heroes. Then the Wolves,
He went
the
for
damage.
the TP.
Oh my goodness, he went for the TP and he died.
Pasha! Could he have just ran?
I don't know. The Wolves do have that cripple effect on you.
Yeah, but that was ambitious.
Yeah.
He has barely any armor, 0+5. And Styler hits for a decent amount right now, 160 a hit. 2 swipes did that. Ramses TP'd up to top. DDC trying to set up for this potentially. Is Yang going to lead with the Gush first? No, not going to get in position.
So that looked like a fight that would have gone in the way of VP if the Tiny didn't die there. But Styler is still becoming such a big beast.
Yeah, and we've talked about how Styler, the Lycan is going to be very good against the Gyrocopter because the Gyro just gets run at and can't really do anything about it despite having a good amount of move speed himself.
This is kind of cool play from VP. Back-to-back smoke plays in the same area. They want to catch the Lycan while Shapeshift is down this time around. And Roger is going to be caught by the snowball, but this is all maybe... No, it's not going to be bait, actually. Roger's going to be left alone. He thought his allies were going to help him out here. They're actually going for a kill right now onto the Leshrac. They are going to be able to get that one. Roger stays ahead of the blast. They'll take down the tower, but Styler, as well as Fade, need to get out of here because
they got to be careful.
After
they are
killing this Leshrac...
Yeah, they are overstaying like crazy. They're going to see the Gyrocopter with this ward, though. And bottom...
Did they just assume these heroes TP'd out?
Yeah, I mean, Roger might just... Okay, they're pinging, but he's not going to make the move onto him.
They lay down these wards. They don't see anybody, so they're like, oh, they must have just left.
Okay, that was a weird set of circumstances, but 3K gold lead right now because Ramses can't really show himself in any lane. Is Pasha going to run into this Tidehunter? VGJ are going to 5-man, try to take this mid tower. Freeze is on the way too. They're trying to protect their Leshrac because of how just he's got only 840 health. He goes down, he's really paper.
Yeah. And I would say this is a lot of space for Ramses because we haven't talked about him, but honestly in network chart, he is still really suffering.
Yes.
He is 1,000 gold behind Pasha's Tiny.
He's intentionally trying not to participate in any of these engagements right now. And VGJ are aware of that. They know that VP are a hero down. They're going to grab this tier 2 or tier 1 mid for free. And Styler's got Necrobook. They might even just go in for this Roche. They've got Ravage up too.
And I don't think with Ravage up, there's no way the VP can contest, right?
They would have to fight for their lives. But this Monkey King right now is showing at bottom. Once he goes to the spring, this should confirm things. And VGJ.Thunder just going for objective after objective.
All right, if VGJ.Thunder win this, after getting 3-0'd by VP, currently 2-2 in their groups while VP is undefeated, I'm just going to say it. Winter has the touch of death.
Yeah. Winter picking a team means they're just done.
You know, last DAC, there was a touch of death, too. You know who that was?
Who?
Black.
Oh.
Maybe that was Perfect World Master. I'm not sure.
I think it was Perfect World Masters that you're thinking of.
It's a China-Shanghai event, you know?
It's random. Like, you don't know how people are going to adjust. VGJ were very smart with their lanes, but still only a 4K gold lead. Being the best team in the world affords you this aura.
Yes.
Where as a caster, you are not allowed to say that the game is over or that it is too one-sided because these guys are at the top for a reason. So the turnaround can happen, but we should highlight that VGJ.Thunder are playing very clean Dota right now.
Yeah. They haven't made any mistakes that would allow VP back into the game, which honestly would be so classic. As you say, kind of like the best team in the world. There's always been these auras. There was Evil Geniuses after their TI. There was, of course, Liquid and their aura that they still have today.
Yeah, it's always that sense of inevitability, like maybe this team could make this insane comeback, because we have seen it time and time again, but VGJ.Thunder, they are trying to mitigate that by just going for the 5-man.
Oh, you know who was really like that? Secret, before their TI run.
Yes.
That Superstar Secret.
Yeah, the TI5 Secret. It just felt like no matter what happened, you were going to lose the game.
Yeah.
At some point. And with VP, it's a different feeling, though, because VP, we're used to seeing them just never really get into these positions where they get behind it all.
Yeah.
One of the best early game teams. They're so good at rolling out that momentum. This game around, it's not on their side, as they're still waiting for Ramses to try to get online. This Monkey King going to grab this tower. And even with the Battle Fury, I don't know if this is enough for Ramses
Send back
to feel
on
comfortable.
DDC, but a lot of damage is already done to Solo. Kinetic Field into the trees he goes. TP out, knowing that he'll need the regen of the fountain to stay alive, so he will be fine now.
Tier 2 tower taken, though, by VG. They pop the book, too. And
They
this
just
might
gonna keep going?
Yeah, I think this is going to signal the high ground. They see that Ramses is at bottom.
Caustic Finale, or excuse me, Diabolic Edict. Haven't casted too many Leshrac.
Yo, this tower's gone. That is a 16-minute Tier 3.
Ramses leads off. The stun. VGJ.Thunder. Not going to push their luck whatsoever. They say, all right, fantastic. We took a Tier 3 by 16 minutes. There's absolutely no reason for us to stick around and take a team fight inside the enemy's base. Let's back up. Eventually, we'll get some Shrine Gold in as well, and that 5K gold lead will very rapidly turn into 10K.
Yeah. My favorite part about this game is, I think when VGJ.Thunder look bad, it's because they just give up on Sylar. And oftentimes they're just like, Sylar, you're on your own. Like, you are sacked. We're not going to care about you. Just try your best to come back into this game. When you put a premium on this guy, he almost always delivers. And he's showing it right here. Easily at the top of the net worth chart. 2 VGJ.Thunder members not too far behind. And Ramses is still in catch-up mode.
Yeah, whenever it felt like VP was taking an okay team fight, there was that time where Sylar was pushing the bottom Tier 2, was taking that. And then that Shrine fight, Sylar just cleaned it all up while his Shapeshift was still going on. So he's definitely come through. Really made the difference here for VGJ.Thunder. Now the smoke up by 3 of them. Freeze is going to join Yang and DDC in a push into their own jungle to see if they can catch Ramses in the act of farming. And they found him. Oh, no, they thought he was in a different tree.
Wrong one. As Ramses just going to amble around. He is gone. Pasha sticking around.
And now with Sylar showing up here, it's like VP know all the heroes are up in top lane.
And this is going to enable VP to just pressure this bottom Tier 2 tower. 29 HP. Sylar curiously did not go for the deny on that tower. So this is going to be an extra bit of gold that goes towards Ramses. This is kind of what you're worried about when you play against VP. And that's going to tell VGJ, guys, we got to do something about this.
Okay, they're just going to go for the high ground here.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit antsy, I think, because of Ramses just walking around the map. I think they saw the TP at bottom. They assumed that he can't get there fast enough, but Monkey King immediately went back.
It's the fact that they don't have a whole lot of catch for this Monkey King, and Monkey King is actually so prolific at split pushing.
But they're just going to try to bring him back, ignore this.
Diabolic Edict doing work right now on the towers, as are the Lycan Wolves. They're not even putting most of their heroes in danger. It's really just Freeze who is hanging out with Yang for a while. They do manage to glimpse back onto Sylar, but he still got off the Shapeshift. Inside the Monkey King ultimate, they're going to try and control him for as long as possible, and they popped him. Now the rest of these heroes. Yang, he's going to be the next target.
They don't want to overextend. There's still a Ravage on the side of VGJ. They're trying to see what they can get.
Now they think about turning. They're going to try and go into this Disruptor, make sure this... Oh, what an Echo Slam from Roger! What an opportunity. The Ravage, though, is going to stall up the follow-up, and he couldn't actually kill any heroes. But now, here comes the Monkey King jumping into the backline. Fade, he may fall as well. Pasha's going to be able to run him down, and no one managed to get away from Freeze thanks to a beautiful Ice Shard block from their own Tusk. So they separate. Freeze isn't really able to chase too much, and Pasha, well, maybe they catch
with the
him.
buyback.
Ramses thinking about fighting this one out. The Kinetic Mayfield
Oh,
goes
no
out.
one
Look at
with
no
the
one on the
high
high ground
ground
with the
flag.
flat cannon shots. Are you kidding me? Snowball comes in from Fade, and now Ramsey's a big hit out. Stun follow-up. Pasha gets a triple kill out of all that. Oh no, VGJ Thunder, what happened?
VP took the gold lead, that Echo Slam. It forces the Tidehunter to use the Ravage, but because they were all stunned up by Roger, he even gets the fissure off at the last second. They can't capitalize on that huge Ravage. And VP with the outplay, no one solo wants to help out the rest of his team. Black Cannons from the high ground onto the Ancients to get it to the rest of the heroes.
Yo, I got to see that replay again, especially the ice shards.
Yes.
They came in later because I felt like that was also a big turning point.
So we see 3 heroes. Roger, no hesitation. The fissure stuns everybody up during the Ravage duration.
And they still were powerful enough to turn. That's the big thing, right? Freeze, he's dealing so much damage to no one. Look how close no one is to death there. And then all of a sudden, Freeze is blocked out by his own Tusk. And then as a result, no one gets all these flat cannon shots.
Yeah.
And that actually plays a big part in whether or not Freeze lives or dies here in this battle against
look at
Pasha.
this
Look at
flag.
those shots.
Oh, that. And Pasha,
Oh.
being the highest HP hero, he says, I'm the tank in this. Solo even buys back for that. And this is what we're talking about. This is why, as a commentator, you cast a game like VP, you afford them this much at least.
Yeah, you afford them certain liberties that you maybe don't give other teams.
Yeah, that is insane that that fight even looked close. They had Ravage. All they had to do was, they were stacked up as 3 for half a second.
Yeah.
And Roger got in there, no hesitation, saw the opportunity, even with the Ravage still available.
The most recent addition to Virtus.pro being the turning point now for VP to take the lead in this game. Well, it's a slight gold lead, but VGJ still have the Rax advantage, and that is probably got to mean a whole lot more than just a measly 1,000 gold.
It's very important that they still hold on to that Rax advantage, because it means that if they get one successful fight, they'll have 2 racks up, and then you can play the map control game and things become a lot more clear. The key here is for them not to panic, because I think for a lot of teams it would be very easy to get into this mode where you're just like, wow, I can't believe we threw that kind of lead, especially against VP. VGJ is still in an okay position. They've taken racks. It's a 1k deficit. That means that's a very low amount of gold. Sylar still very strong. He almost has BKB. The Slush Rush just finished Bloodstone. Still a very even game. Just
Did VGJ's courier die?
Yeah, it did. On top of that.
GG.
So Pasha gonna run in here.
That's why he doesn't have that Necronomicon 3. Pasha, toss back, gives himself enough space to be able to blink away.
Gets the TP out. Still things are pretty close. The next Roshan probably gonna be what VG are eyeballing here, as the BKB is gonna fly out onto Ramses.
He went from picking up Battle Fury shortly before that fight to straight up BKB just a couple minutes later.
Yeah, he has come back in a big way.
VGJ.Thunder. They have to survive through this next team fight. They can't afford to let VP.
They've got an Invis tied right now with Ravage.
Oh, that would be sick.
Yeah,
but the smoke popping is going to make VP go on a high alert when it does. So he runs into Ramses, smoke pops, solo, and he lays it down now. Oh, and he gets off the static drone before the Ravage. Now they're going to try and kill Yang, and that's where Pasha comes in. He just tosses up, and no Ravage opportunity. Double BKB's pop.
Sylar, he
and
doesn't know where to go.
Thunder, they can't possibly fight into this Monkey King ultimate, so DDC, he's going to be caught here inside the trees. Monkey King will finish him off. Sylar's going to try and come back in with the help of Freeze. Fisher block separating Ramses, actually. Ramses is going to be caught by the snowball. Yang, they're going to be able to go for this kill. Now the duo, VP, Pasha, and no one, turning and killing that less rack, but the rest of these heroes will be able to chase down maybe Pasha. They need to get some damage on him, though. The Blink Dagger.
3.
It's up in 2 seconds. 1. He's out.
Goes to the TP. Fade. Gonna throw it out, but it is too late. Oh, no. And they bought back on the Tidehunter. They were expecting to get a lot more out of that. And you see right there, too, Pasha separates from his gyrocopter, saying, if I'm going to die, at least let it only be one of us.
Yeah, he didn't want both of them. He didn't want to give a Ravage opportunity to that Tidehunter.
They need a Roshan. If they're going to make this buyback worth it, they have to get the Roshan minimum.
Oh, but at the same time, they don't have Shapeshift. And the Monkey King's back up in 10 seconds.
Yeah, no one. He's going to TP in for this. He's got his BKB up once again. But VGJ, this is a pivotal moment for them. This Roshan, could mean everything. The
No one
TP's
could
coming
just
in.
throw the call down in there. Avalanche is already out as well to get some good vision inside the pit. Know that they've got time to work around here, and that's why Fade, has to get the snowball. Dodges the stun coming out from Ramsey. He's going to be chased out. BK being activated, and now Yang is going to try and get in front of these two cores. He's tanky and will stay in lane for a while, but the
Where's
BKBs
the
are going to
Ravage?
wear off. Maybe he
He's
can get off
waiting
the
for
Ravage
it.
in time. Waiting. Now the Ravage goes down. Barely clips the Gyrocopter in the back line. He does have Gush. Anchor Smash, not quite enough damage, but here comes Sylar. He's going to be able to rip apart that Gyrocopter, and now look to Ramses as well. Pasha and Ramses going to turn. BKB activated just in time by Sylar, but now the shapeshift is weared out, and the Monkey King can pop his ultimate. The glimpse back, they're going to be able to catch Yang as well. Sylar is trying to actually deal with this disruptor himself, realizes he has to go for the TP. There is no glimpse available. VGJ.Thunder, they felt like they had to go for the Roshan. You said it yourself, but VP managed to win the fight around the pit, and now VGJ.Thunder, they are certainly going to be suffering a big loss.
Yeah, and they had to wait so long. Both supports were trying their best to kite, but once they got jumped on, it was so awkward for them to take that engagement. And we have to highlight Pasha in this game so far. He has been everything, I think, right now for the side of VP. He's kept these fights going. He's got a really good amount of farm. Kites nonstop. 8-1-9 is his score right now. Playing a very stable style of Dota.
23-20 with a 6,000 gold lead for VP. Now the full lane of Rax is gone in middle. That is as a recent result, I believe, of that Roshan fight, is that the creeps pushed in, finish off the range Rax.
Yeah. VGJ, they've got to do a better job of fighting around the Ravage right now. Because Yang's throwing it out there and there's no real follow-up.
Yeah.
That's twice now where he's hit an important Ravage, but it just feels like it's a little bit too late, or it's at an inopportune moment where his team can't really take advantage of it. And part of that is because he's inside that Roshan thinking they've got a hard commit for it.
Yeah.
But his team just doesn't really deal the damage. And Roger going to get spotted out.
He had the Echo Slam, was thinking about going for a kill, maybe on Fade, but I don't think he really deems Fade important enough to go for it. See the highlighted man, Pasha, 73% of the kill participation.
Yeah, as good as they are in team fights, in this game especially, he's the one leading the kite adventures.
I mean, it's just crazy that these team fights end up going so long that Sylar's shapeshift wears out when it still would be very effective.
Yes. He's about to hit level 18, though.
Maybe with the level 20, he gets the duration of the shapeshift, and he'll feel a bit better about that.
Yes, as VP, they're going to get spotted out mid. Both the Aegis and the Cheese going onto this Monkey King. Pure damage here is Pasha. Or
Okay,
Solo.
well, that may be a free pick-off status. All right. Does that save Solo's life? I think it does.
That is a lot of damage.
That is a lot of Maledict damage.
They're all standing around him. They tried giving him the cheese.
Surely that can't be worth it. A cheese is pretty important for these
That was
cores.
adorable. I thought they were doing this like funeral attire for him, and they're like fallen captain. They're like, they're doing like
they're singing his praises.
Yeah,
you
the
know?
salute. They're just firing shots into the air. Oh,
my
captain, my captain. Instead, they were trying. There's no way that giving him the cheese is worth it.
No, absolutely not.
Come on, guys.
Who do you think made that call?
Solo.
You think he's like,
Solo
don't let me
screaming for
die,
it.
damn you.
Yeah, because if it was Ramses' idea, the cheese
would've
would
done it
Yeah, he
sooner.
would have done it
Yeah.
sooner. All right, they're smoked up though on the side of VGJ, trying to right the ship right now. With the disruptor down, they're gonna find him here.
All right, one shot the Wolves, but Pasha's going to need to do a whole lot more than that. Snowball dodging all the Avalanche. BKB immediately goes out, and Fade is already dead. But
Freeze
Sylar
is so
has the
far away.
shapeshift activated and is going for the kill onto No One. Yang, he's going to be revealed here, actually. Does have the Ravage. Needs to be able to survive
what a
through these
fissure.
BKBs first. He's going to be glimpsed back into a position, maybe a better one, to be able to get off a good Ravage. Sylar still chasing down these heroes. Echo Slam goes down. Shapeshift's going to wear out soon, but they do have enough time to be able to get the Ravage and finish off the Earthshaker. Sylar no longer has that extra movement speed. Here comes Gyrocopter. He's going to be able to finish him off, and Yang, he's going to be up next on the Monkey King table. Jumping forward, Freeze, going for the TP out. They have vision, and they have a glimpse. Gets back to the fountain for but a second before he's brought back to VP's clutches, is forced into a Bloodstone suicide, and all that took for VP to win that fight was a buyback on Roger.
Yeah. And Solo comes in, passes the cheese to No One. So it does end up paying off in the end. No one was very unhealthy, but Roger with a very nice fissure to stop the rampaging Lycan from getting on top of no one who was almost dead. Just a very clean team fight overall. And Freeze in that team fight was so far away from the rest of his team. He was by this ward when the rest of his team was already engaging onto VP's side. Not the kind of positioning that you expect.
Especially, as you said, VGJ.Thunder, kind of like newbie in some regards, in that they are willing to play around each other a lot. They're going to get the free pick off on Fade. Fade is just, every single time he's the one initiated on first. Core Staff gets no one away from that death ward from DDC, especially with the Maledict on him. No one does not feel like taking any more damage from that Maledict, so he'll pop the BKB flat cannon. And now here comes the shapeshift. They're not going to be able to finish off the racks. VP have to retreat. Jump forward. Ice Shard's not going to be enough. Another toss back from Pasha. And VGJ.Thunder blow the shapeshift, but cannot make a team fight.
Yeah, Sylar still on the hunt for a second. Instead, going to go for these creeps. Pasha sticking around for a little bit longer, seeing if there's any opportunity for him, but there's no follow-up. They don't get the racks, but still 12k up. No rush for them.
Melee racks will start regenning, hopefully giving Sylar enough time to be able to get his MKB, which he's trying to work on against that gyrocopter. Every single time he's trying to race towards that gyrocopter and see if he can deal with him first, but the butterfly is really inhibited a lot of his damage. Oh, Shadowblade in his initiation, but BKB goes off from Sylar, and now it's going to be Roger who's caught. Snowball is going to follow him through. Ramsey's going to turn on this one, though. He's going to throw down the ultimate. That's the gem dropped on the deck. They're going to make sure they don't lose it, though, and they may not lose the team fight either. Sylar stuck inside the static zone with the kinetic field, with no longer having a BKB. No one is going to be able to rip him apart for a triple kill. A trap that goes both ways, it seems.
Yeah, you see Roger immediately spamming bait.
And now,
Ramses.
Virtus.pro are going to go high ground again.
Yeah, he's looking for it right now.
He may have just found him. Freeze.
Gonna get the
Scepter
Yules.
first, goes for the stun. Glimpse is going to be able to pull him back a little bit. Solo's trying to actually hit him with the kinetic field, but he doesn't actually have the mana. But Pasha will be able to catch him with the avalanche, and a Ravage goes out. But Freeze is still going to be stuck inside the kinetic field. It's just holding back the Monkey King, but it's Pasha, who's big, large, and charged, and in his face. Not enough to be able to finish off Freeze, though. Ramsey's toss forward. Okay, that'll do the trick. They managed to get the kill in the back line.
Slam dunk.
All the meanwhile, no one is taking the bottom lane while Yang is dying to Ramses. Double kill for him. He's going to stand in front of the fountain, challenging anybody from VGJ.Thunder to come out and duel him.
And that's going to be the full set of racks at bottom. No one going to clean up the rest.
There is a tier 2 in the top lane.
Yeah, that's going to slow things down as Pasha just standing right in front, daring them to try to make a move. Fade going to throw out the Ice Shards just to protect his towers. And now it is a 20k gold lead. This game has turned around in a hurry. All starts with that mid push.
Yeah, it certainly does. Now VGJ.Thunder on their last life in this best of one.
They have one rack to work with. And that Ravage went out. Does clip the Monkey King, but tiny BKB does not care.
Pasha has done so much work for them, considering the fact that this nasty start for VP. You said no one was trying to move around, create some space, but in the end it was Pasha who was really the one who made all these team fights work. He's had several great toss initiations as well as defensive tosses as well.
Yeah, he's using him in both ways.
Now they're going to be able to finish up a lot of different items. He's trying to get the Desolator. Ramses is completing his Assault Cuirass quite soon.
Satanic.
And Satanic for the gyrocopter. So he really can stand and fight this Lycan.
Now they're probably just going to go straight for top. VP not even going to wait for the next Aegis, it seems. Ramses aggressively
Bouncing
pushing
around,
forward.
actually catches Freeze here. The Fisher block, not quite there. And Freeze will be able to walk it off. The rest of VP were a little bit too far away. They didn't want to commit.
Fade even throwing out the dust to try to get Ramses to decommit to that, and he does, but the top push is going to go off anyways. VP.
You getting the command ring here if you get Monkey King to level 25?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Make it ultra big. This game, you give VP an inch, they take a mile.
Well, they finally get the extra 8 seconds of shapeshift duration, but it's a bit too late for that one. VGJ.Thunder needed that extra duration a long, long time ago.
They're looking for VP. They're trying to find them outside the base, but VGJ being very disciplined right now. Still trying to hold on to this game.
We got a nice aggressive ward inside of VGJ.Thunder's base. And they may have just spotted some of that smoke. If not, they're at least going to spot the absence of heroes showing.
Yeah, I like this move. It's very aggressive, but
Yeah,
you
look at
can't,
that. Bing, 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 bing.
you can't
There's no
just
one
allow
there.
them.
Retreat.
They're trying to find something right now, but you can't just allow VP to get Roshan in the game. But they're going to walk up. Shapeshift is popped.
And the Ravage.
Nice
The
Ravage.
opportunity to be able to blow up the jar come through, but Pasha intercepts, managed to get a
He's
good
got
avalanche.
Satanic.
Oh no, no one's living through the Satanic. He's actually going to be able to take down everyone here and still have plenty of HP to work with. Freeze, it's a pittance. He's going to pick up a kill on Roger and Pasha, but that's it. VGJ.Thunder are all out of steam. They thought they had the opening.
Yeah, Pasha at the end, when he goes in with that stun toss, buys his gyro enough time to get off everything. MVP till the end. Ramses didn't even bother coming to that fight. As soon as they called GG, he disconnected, left the game. He's like, I'm done. My work here is done. I've done a great job. Let's
He had
ignore the
such a
lightning
miserable
phase.
start. He was probably pretty pissed
Yeah,
off
that's
after
one of
that
those
lady
get me out
phase.
games.
Oh, man. All right. Well, that ended up being an excellent game between Virtus.pro and VGJ.Thunder. VGJ.Thunder almost had it there, but Virtus.pro continue their reign. Can anyone stop this team? Back to the panel.
Good question. No one so far because they're 5-0 and they're qualifying for the next round. They were already qualified yesterday, frankly, anyway. But mathematically, they are now qualified for the playoff side of things, and we'll see them next week, of course. We've got another game with them today and one more tomorrow, but it doesn't really matter. They can perhaps experiment and have some fun. If they didn't already have some fun, because that game certainly was fun as far as Virtus.pro are concerned. Let's find out what our panel made of that one. Kyle, great performance, but it wasn't all their own way early on. If you came into that game 10 minutes from the end, you'd have probably thought, oh, this looks like a stomp for Virtus.pro, but that wasn't the case, was it?
No, I mean, I think VGJ.Thunder played that early laning phase about as well as possible. They got the early D ward, Tidehunter skilling Gush, kind of playing support. I need glasses, so I'm questioning, like, wait, is the Witch Doctor playing core? No, wait, that's DDC. But he's playing it the right way, where you just kill this Monkey King, who has like 2 base armor, and you just attack, you kill him. I'm going to wait for the clip, but the fight that VP turns the game on was a perfect example of why they're the best team in the world. And it's not just because they're so talented, but it's because they understand what they need to do and what their win conditions are. They actually let the mid-racks go so that they could fight as the Aegis wore off. And the key moment is when no one, I'm gonna just wait for the clip. It's beautiful to watch. And it's just what makes VP so damn good. That even in this game they should lose, the Ramses is barely above Roger, they still seem like they're in total control.
A great game from Pasha as well, Winter.
Yeah, I was like telling Carl, no other team would have won
This one right
from
here.
that situation. This was after, I think it was after the fight. Solo bought out, and they got an amazing Echo Slam, and the game just like turns after this.
Yep, and the crazy thing is, like, they're behind, right? So this fight isn't decisive just yet. They do get 3, but it's still a tide, no
There's
less.
still a
There's no
good,
spells
really
up.
good move coming up here by
Yeah.
no one.
Yeah,
Watch this.
Yeah.
He stands on the high ground, and he's really low, but he still manages to do damage with this flag, which was really, really important.
Yeah, it actually kills the courier too. And they kill the Tusk on his buyback as well. And from this point, they just win the game. But the key decision for me is solo shot call to let the racks go and then pursue. Because if they fight for the...
This one too was really important. He places the sentry there. Like the Tide was about to get a really big Ravage. Otherwise, the Monkey wouldn't have reacted thanks to the sentry.
This is a team that, as you said, Kyle, like they always do the right thing, but also you have to outplay them in these fights, which is so hard. A lot of these teams, you can keep up with them for that maybe first or second round of spells, but again, the little things they do, not exposing themselves, coming in between every round of spells, the kind of trust to maximize the efficiency on their targeting, going for the targets that they can just focus down quickly. All those little things that they consistently just outperform other teams. And if it's a fissure that needs to be landed to save the carry from going down from Roger this game, it's probably gonna happen. You can count on that happening. And then Thunder kind of made a mistake there. I would say that with Ravage up but no mobility item on the Tide and Sylar already being dead, they didn't have the fight they didn't have the damage necessarily to turn that fight. You make that mistake against VP, they'll punish you for it.
That's a fantastic performance from them as well. Leaves VGJ a little bit exposed, Winter, doesn't it, in this group?
Yeah, but they did put up a really good performance here, in my opinion. I think they did really well. Like Carl mentioned, the lane swapping, moving around, and type being a support. I mean, it shows that they are adapting. I mean, maybe it's slower than the Western teams, but
Sure.
they are trying to adapt. They pick Lash. It's always a good sign, even if you lose like this.
I really liked the Lycan Lesh. I thought it was a very strong dual core combo,
Okay.
and they had so much tower pressure. It was just all the one team fight. I think if they had, and if they're honestly playing a weaker team, I think they just win this game. But it's Virtus.pro.
No, there's one more thing as well. The blink on Tide. He didn't get a blink until the very end. Like he got a
Way too late.
he got a pipe and then he finished his mech and only he decides to get a blink, but he couldn't get a blink on time. So I think that was also a slight oversight there by Yang. Yeah, having the blink would mean that the earlier fights that maybe they would have been able to turn one of those fights into a wipe or at least a victorious fight. Then they could have maybe just sneak the game away.
On the other hand, though, if you're Virtus.pro and you maybe you saying to yourself, let's just give up this Lycan and then just play against it and see what happens, and you beat that. If you're Thunder, you lost with your best player's legendary hero here, so it's not a great takeaway there as well.
He did play a great Lycan, just they're not good enough to be the best.
Yeah,
Indeed.
but we might not see a Monkey King anymore after this. This game, like I don't know. This game showed the weaknesses of the hero. Why teams have been like staying away from the hero for some time.
Yeah, I think the real weakness is just killing him in the laning phase, and that's very difficult to do. To be fair, I think if this game, if they don't get crushed in the early game, where this Monkey King is suddenly like 2K net worth behind Tide at like 12 minutes into the game, it's gonna be a totally different story, and Monkey King just runs away with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it came down to VP just needed one fight. They needed one fight the entire game. Once they got it, they can run away with it. And the BKBs come out, and all of a sudden their AoE damage is too much.
Okay, MVP, Jack?
I mean, I'd probably just have to go with no one here. I mean, I've seen him just on this gyro, no matter where you put him, no matter what position, he's just so steady. Whether he gets more out of his lane than other gyros tend to do, he makes all the right rotations. His damage output and not exposing himself, it's hard for me to argue against him in this game.
Yep, having another good tournament. Rarely has a bad tournament these days as well. Ramses, on the other hand, was top of all of the charts, by the way, before the start of day number 3. I don't think that's going to be the case after that game on the Monkey King. Definitely sacrificed himself in that game.
I spent a lot of time talking with Ramses when I was in Katowice, and he has so much respect for no one as a Dota player. He thinks he's just like the best in the world as a core, and he makes a strong argument for that the more you watch VP play.
Yep, definitely. We saw him, I think it was day 1, Winter, when they won a game, and then it cut to them inside their room, and he was mad.
Oh yeah,
He was shouting at people. It was like, they just won. Like, what that? And that just shows me how much he wants to win. Not just every game, but every minute of every game as well.
I think he had a bad laning phase due to some reason, and right after the game, he did not wait to voice it out.
No, he was definitely out in the room. I love that about them. They're fantastic.
And I will say, I think that this VP team is really hungry.
Yeah.
They don't have their set side. Like you said, they want to win everything.
Yeah.
And it culminates in a TI victory. And I think that anything less than that would be catastrophic for them. They're a team built to be world champions, not just winners of some major.
Yep.
They're
They've got to
gonna win all of
break they've got to break the Chinese curse though, because the
Indeed.
Chinese team need to win TI this year.
But can they?
Yeah, it's an even year, Winter. Don't back against them like we did 2 years ago, and they still won.
Which Chinese team would you say has the best chance at,
Right now, LGD seems like they're
VG Gaming or
VG,
LGD, maybe.
Yeah. I think newbie, there's still a chance that they might.
Depends which version turns up.
Yeah, which one turns up. They get their act together.
Yeah.
They play well.
Yeah. Still got a few more days of this. We could still be convinced by a Chinese champion winning the DAC. It would be the first major they've won in history, by the way, including the old majors and the new majors on the DPC. No single Chinese team